back to the G.B.B, guys. Once again, it's Jay. On this one, I'm joined by London. London, what up?
We stepping in.
We back in the house, man. Manchester United versus Newcastle this weekend. Another game in the Premier League and another opportunity to get 3 points. Whether we get those 3 points is going to be, told by how the players turn up, what the attitude's going to be like, and what the tactics are like. So this is obviously a game that's going to have a lot of impact on Manchester United as a whole, because there's a lot of rumours circulating obviously at the moment that if the result doesn't go Manchester United's way, Jose could get the sack. And to be honest, even for me, that's very concerning, because like we've seen in previous videos, he is the most qualified manager to be at Manchester United at the moment. He is obviously a figure that has experience in big competitions, of winning the Premier League, of winning the Champions League, obviously winning the Europa League title with us, winning the FA Cup title with us. So he does know how to win. For whatever reason it is, he's possibly lost the dressing room now, and the players aren't playing for him, or the players aren't understanding the message that's being given by Jose, or whatever the case is. There's something going on, and it could come to a head this weekend. London, what are your thoughts firstly on Mourinho, that situation, and then this particular game?
Well, look, the Mourinho situation, look, coming into this game, it's not going to change now. You know what I'm trying to say? And the most important thing is them getting a result against Newcastle. So focusing on Mourinho out, I think you're kind of looking at a defeat already if the focus is going to be in that sort of direction, which you don't want.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just reading the stat here now, is that Man United looking to avoid going 5 games, 5 matches without winning for the second time since 99.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like, a stat like that for Man United, he's not very good. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So it's important, regardless of what anyone thinks, like about whether the manager should go, whether he should stay, whether the players are this, whether the players are that. Regardless of what it is, Man United need to get a result. That is the number one priority. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And that's everyone who's associated with Man United should be thinking on that level. No one should be thinking anything else but this next game against Newcastle.
Yeah, I think if this is the case, and Jose will be sacked after this game if the result doesn't go his way, there's got to be some onus put on by the players. First and foremost, obviously the players, but the club as a whole. If they don't give a result to avoid Mourinho getting the sack, and especially up against a team that hasn't won in their past 5 Premier League games, they haven't won a game. If we were to lose to Newcastle, I think that's a statement by the players that they've lost faith in Jose, and they don't want him there. Because of all the rumours are circulating saying that he could be sacked if the performance is not up to scratch, the only thing that Jose can't control is what happens on the pitch. Obviously, once that whistle goes, it's the players. Preparing the players for the game, that's Jose's job. Setting the players up for this game. You can't set a team up to lose. You can't. Right? Especially when you have the level of players that we have. You can't send a team out there to lose. So these players need to understand that if the performance is not good enough and Jose gets a sack, it's on their heads. Completely and utterly. It won't be the board. It won't be the owners. It won't be Ed Woodward that give him the sack. It won't be their fault. It'll be the players' fault. And these players need to realize that when you play for a manager and you play for a team, you play for everyone else but yourself and your own agendas. You play for the team, right? There's no way of saying that these players are 100% professional if we go into this game and we don't get a win. Because the mentality of the team going into this game, Pogba has said in previous games that the boys have gone into a game without the right mentality, without the right intentions. And how can that be the case when we're in, obviously, that step that you just said, London? If we lose one more game or draw one more game, a 5-streak winless run is the worst. It's the worst run since '99. But what that means is these players need to understand that you're going to be responsible for that happening. We know Jose is a winner. We don't know that these players are winners. Yes, Pogba's got a World Cup trophy in his cabinet. But the rest of these players are now, they're writing the story of what their history is going to be all about. These players should be known, if Jose gets the sack, as the players that got Jose fired. Because he is the only manager that's probably suitable at the moment to be Manchester United manager. And it's these players that really have let him down, and they're letting the club down as a whole. Because, like you've said at London, Pogba's a World Cup winner. But once you go over that white line, your ability doesn't drop depending on who your manager is. You still go out there, you're still a professional, you still got your ability and all the attributes that make you a footballer that got signed by Manchester United. Manchester United don't sign average players. We don't sign bottom of the barrel players. We sign players for a specific reason, because they have the talent, because they have that promising ability to do something. So these players need to understand that it's on them. Whatever happens after 90 minutes of this game, it's on them whatever happens. And it's not going to be on Jose, because at this point, if Jose's message has gotten them to this point and they haven't understood it, or whatever the case is, I think Jose needs to go in and say to these players, whether you want me here or not, do it for the badge and do it for the supporters. Right? It's far beyond now a case of a lack of man management by Mourinho with these particular players, and now it's pride. It's absolute pride for the badge and pride for the club. It seems to be a trend since Alex Ferguson left that Manchester United are breaking all these records for the wrong reasons. It's all these negative records that are being broken ever since he left. We need to curb that trend, and we need to get behind the club and this manager, and the politics and all the stuff that's going on in the background needs to be put aside, and Manchester United need to put in a performance. London, what are you thinking about Newcastle? This particular, obviously, game. Yes, we've spoken about Mourinho and Manchester, but what are you thinking about Newcastle?
Well, I haven't seen much of Newcastle this year. They haven't, going by results, they haven't done as well as what they've done last year. But they've still got a few players that can kind of cause you some danger. Like Matt Ritchie, obviously he's a dangerous guy. Yeah. You've got John Jones Shelby. He's a strong midfielder, very creative and stuff like that. Yeah. They haven't, this week I'm noticing that they've not got Rondon. Yes. So they probably won't have that presence up top. But look, it's very difficult to think about where this result's going to go because of what you've just mentioned in regards to Man United, where their head's going to be at, whether players are going to be out there to play for the badge, to play for the fans, and actually just to show some pride within themselves. You know what I'm trying to say? You just don't know. Look, it's another opportunity. Newcastle are going to be out there they're going to want to get on a decent run after their bad recent form. So they're going to come out there. They're not going to hold back. They're going to be looking for it. Anyone going to Man United now will turn around and say this is the best time to approach Man United. Yeah. For the simple fact of they're in a bad run. All the crap that's going on in the media and stuff like that. They're not in a comfortable state anyhow. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So people are going to look, if we're going to get a really good opportunity, this is the time to actually get at Man United.
Yeah, and that's what I think is messed up as a Manchester United supporter. Teams are coming to Old Trafford and they're looking at Manchester United going, sweet, there's either 3 points on offer or a point on offer when we come here, because Manchester United haven't shown anything that resembles the DNA of this club of being a winning team and a dominant team at home. again, they're gonna, like I said the same thing about Derby. I said the same thing about Brighton. That these guys are the underdogs. They're the underdogs on paper, and they come to Manchester and they're absolutely rubbing their hands together, going, "We lose nothing from this game. We stand to gain everything, and they stand to lose everything." This game, as I said, this game is probably the biggest game that we've had this far this season, because if we go to that five games straight of without a win, and we break that record, it's going to break the camel's back to say it's going to be Jose out, and they're coming here going to prove a point. They want to be the team to knock Manchester United off the perch that we've been on for so long, to knock us back down another peg, to say we got rid of Jose, and it was because of those players on that pitch. So this is going to be a very difficult game. I think Manchester United needs to come out, and the players need to come out with an intent to display themselves more than anything else. Not to protect Jose, not to protect anyone else, but to protect the culture and the status of this club, and play for the freaking badge, man. I want to swear,
the thing is,
but it's
that, Jake, as well, because with all the talk of the manager leaving, they're actually, if the manager's going to leave and a new manager's coming in, they're playing for spots as well.
Exactly.
You know what I'm trying to say? So they've got to have that in their head, all going, okay, cool, well, if I'm playing bad, like, someone's going to be looking at me and going, oh, yeah, I don't really fancy it. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So surely that's got to be, look, we speak about it every week, like, the game is changing. There's not so much of a team onus now, it's more of an individual thing. Yeah. Now, this is the one thing that probably could work in their favour, like, to actually say, okay, cool, let me go out there and perform, like, for myself, for my team, and show the next manager that I'm going to be capable of being in this team week in, week out. That's it. Because just like with anyone, like, at the end of the day, you can't, with footballers, you can't just turn it on just like that. It doesn't happen. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. Like, we've got an old saying of, like, you're only as good as your last game. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, at the end of the day, like what we spoke about Pogba, yes, he's won a World Cup, but to be fair, no one's thinking about that World Cup win. Like, every time you're losing with Man United, no one's going to go, oh yeah, it was a World Cup. But he won the World Cup, so I'll give him a grace. No one's going to, at the end of the day, you go through this season, you struggle. You go for another season, you struggle. No one is going to speak about you being a World Cup winner. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, they'll just go, yeah, what happened? What happened to him? What happened to that guy? Blah, blah. But you're going to get moved on. That's why it happened. Go on. That's why players like, if Smalling plays, or Lindelof, or Valencia, Young, if those guys play and they don't put in every single bit of themselves for this game, the next manager that walks in, Smalling, as we said, I can't understand why Jose still plays Smalling and Jones. The next manager could walk in and go, those guys have had their opportunity. Like I've been saying, they've had their opportunity. They still couldn't do it under now a great manager who's got all these accolades. They didn't play for him. I'm going to move them on. So they should be coming out in this game, and they should be playing like we're playing against Barcelona or Real Madrid in the Champions League final. They should be playing to cement themselves and make sure players like I was saying, Smalling, Jones, that have gotten an opportunity under Mourinho over the players that he brought in like Lindelof and Bailly, should be absolutely playing their guts out to make sure that Jose stays, because if Jose stays, it means that they stay as well. As well as Fellaini. Fellaini was out the door. But because Jose has used him as much as he has, we offered him another contract and he stayed. Who says that the next manager walks in and says, yeah, Fellaini, you're a starter for the next season, no problems at all. He could say, mate, you haven't done it since you've been here. Out. Jones, out. Smalling, out. Valencia, out. So these guys need to understand that professional courtesy to do themselves a favor of putting in a shift. Players like Pogba, you're going to get what you're going to get out of Pogba because he's one of the better players. Lukaku is one of the better players. But Martial as well. Martial came to this club and he did what he did without Mourinho being there. Mourinho's come and has changed his role. So Martial doesn't really, I would think from his point of view, if Mourinho goes, it gives him more of an opportunity to play. But the same can't be said about the other players that I just mentioned.
they need to play their backsides off to make sure that they can stay at Manchester United. Because we all know, if you get offered an opportunity to play at Manchester United, you take that opportunity because Manchester United pays better weekly wage than any other team. If you're going to be moved on, you're not going up from Manchester United. You're going down from Manchester United. So these guys need to realize that, and it needs to be an effort like they haven't put in this season so far. That first half against Tottenham was the best 45 I've seen us play this whole year so far, or this season so far. They need to be able to replicate that against a team where we should be playing to that level. A team where we should be getting the win comfortably. And people like Lukaku breaks this drought, the drought that he's in, and bags a couple of goals. But guys, you know, there's not much else that can be said about that. We've done the pick the 11s. Obviously, Shannon's obviously not on this particular video. He sent me in his team. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see the teams that are going up against one another. My selection versus Shannon's selection. As you can see in the top right-hand corner, I'm still on top of the leaderboard as it stands. But we'll see how it is after this one. Shannon might get a prediction that might, you know, help him get over the top. But we'll see what happens. London, just quickly in closing, anything else to say lastly before we probably see the end of Jose?
Nothing. We'll just see what happens.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, after this result, so yeah.
Fair enough. Guys, thanks for joining us on the video. Please comment, subscribe, like, and share. Check us out on all the social media platforms. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll be doing a video after the game as well, so make sure you catch that one. Thanks for joining us. Shot.